We have breaking news this evening out of Germany as Bayern Munich have signed Roma midfielder Frank Diana for a fee of £34 million. Now, in other news, Chelsea have sacked Frank Lampard for a seventh time, but refused to rule out rehiring him again next season.
Sell-on. I had a 50% sell-on.
Synker sammen til segerstroppen Mal fram Grindavik Og jeg vet Hvis vattnen ger I dag
Hi guys, I'm Aussie Villain and welcome back to Grindavik on the Impossible Dream. It is season 11, episode 6 today, and there is so much to catch you up on before we begin the Champions League. A little bit like last season, well, I'll tell you, it's away to Atletico Madrid. We'll have a look at our fixtures momentarily, but yeah, same as last season. And of course, we were 2-0 up at half-time in that one, then lost 3-2, but don't worry about that. But the big news is we finally had a sell-on clause coming for us. Frank Diana, who you may remember, we signed from Marseille. He was transfer listed at Marseille. We signed him for 4.4. We signed him on because he was just a bit of a whinger. He went off to Napoli. He has since moved on to Roma. He has since moved on to Bayern Munich. 34 million, of which we get half. So we are absolutely flush with cash right now. It is brilliant. And yeah, of all the players I thought we might get a bit of a cash influx on a sell-on, Frank Diana was not one of them. He was a good defensive player, and we possibly have missed him since. We haven't really had anybody to shield the back four quite the same way that he did. But yeah, absolutely massive. We have got a very, very nice fee for him indeed. Now, we've also got a fee for another player, and that is Matthias Depay. Now, sad to see him go. We got £1 million. We sent him off to Burnley. He just wasn't playing for us anymore. We had better players. He is a good defensive, positioning, tackling, marking wise. He is decent. He was a club trained player for the league, but ultimately he just wasn't quite good enough. So we paid 2.5 for him, having loaned him for 3 years, and we got 1 million back. So maybe the permanent transfer side of things didn't quite work out for us. But I think where we were at compared to where we're at now, I don't necessarily regret doing that, because at the time that was a really good signing for us to get him in for 2.5 million. So yeah, that has happened as well. Now, we have also had our youth intake. So these are the candidates, and I've got to say it's a little bit better than I expected, because we just might get a player out of this young central defender here, Halmarsson. If we have a look at him, he is potentially a 3.5-star player. Mentally, he's already decent enough. He's got a little bit of technique there as well. Physically, could use a little bit of work, but of course he's only 15, so plenty of time for him to grow. And yeah, I think he is, well, we weren't expecting anything from this youth intake, and he looks like someone that might actually come through for us, albeit a few years down the line. A couple of what the game describes as good talents. I may disagree with that description ever so slightly, so we'll wait and see what we get from here. Sometimes these guys come in. See, again, this guy mentally is not too bad. They'll come in, they'll start training, and they can kick on a little bit. So he might come off as, but he'd very much be a league player, I think, more so than sort of someone we can rely on in Europe. And then the rest of it here was pretty much just trash, to be honest. So that's a little bit disappointing, obviously, but yeah, one's better than nothing, isn't it? So we'll take that and run. Now, we do have some players. We've got some games to catch you up on even. The first of those in the league was against Starnen. We fell behind early, and it was 2-0 midway through the first half. Ornason pulled one back, and Jones crossed for Gadini to have us level at half-time, before Turpinson put us ahead. But some comedy defending pulled Starnen level late on. So we were terrible in this game. We really, really were. And then having got ourselves ahead, we should have seen it out. We couldn't even do that. Now, I don't think I played Ornason as defensive midfielder. I think we went with 3 at the back. Starnen were playing a 4-4-2. Yeah, so that makes sense. It didn't work, obviously. I may have even changed things up. No, I stuck with it to the bitter end. So, yeah, ultimately, we didn't lose, but we did drop points. And that's always disappointing. Next up, though, it was the second leg against Apoel. Vinci gave us the lead, and Real made it 2-0, before Bakali picked out Sinistera to make it 3-0 at half-time. Bakali and Sinistera combined again for our fourth, before Higuain made it 5-0. So yeah, I mean, we were good in this one. They are just not very good. How they got to the playoff of the Champions League, I'm not sure. But yeah, anyway, we absolutely destroyed them. And yeah, that's obviously good to see. Next up, back in the league, it was Fram. Tom Jones bulldozed his way through to put us ahead, before Gadini added a second. So we dominated the game, didn't maybe get the goals we should have. Sinistera up front, maybe not as sharp as we needed him to be. We are playing Rafason in goal just to try and keep him developing as well. We don't want to completely freeze him out, you know, because he is still a good club-trained player for us. But yeah, it was more or less a bit of a backup side. And yeah, like I say, dominated the game from first to last. Next up, it was Vikinger. Now, this was first versus second in the league. So we'll see if there were any contests for us. Degan gave us a half-time lead before Higuain sealed the points. So we made hard work of it, but we did win it quite comfortably. 2-0 doesn't really, you know, show the dominance we had. You can see up front again, Baltinson maybe struggling a little bit, but yeah, we did enough to get across the line, which is good. And having beaten second in the league, it puts us in a very good position to go and win the title now. And we had a chance to do that with other results going our way against Folsner. So let's see if we could do our part. Higuain left Gadini with a tap-in to open the scoring. Dagbajatsson got our second, and then squared it for Gadini to make it 3-0. Before Higuain found Sinistera for our fourth. So we did our part, we dominated the game. Unfortunately, we didn't get the result we needed from Vikinger, which means our first game today is against Por, and if we don't lose that, we will be champions again. But yeah, we did dominate this one. Now, these games, I think Fram, Vikinger, and this one have all taken place during an international break, so we've had players sort of in and out, going away with international teams, youth teams, as well as senior internationals. And yeah, so it's a bit of a put-together team for this one, and it worked absolutely fine. So to update you on the league table, we can see there 12 points ahead, 4 games to go. That means that it is time to win a league, doesn't it, basically? And Viking are a clear second best in the league this year, which, I mean, that is actually a good thing. If we want somebody to be a regular, ideally 2 teams to be regular European contributors, and that way, you know, it can help improve everything. Now, Breeder Blink did get to the Europa Conference League playoff. Unfortunately, they lost that. But that's as close as I think we've ever got a team to getting through to a league phase with us, as apart from us, I should say. It's looking though FH and IA will battle out the other European spot, although I think there'll be a 4th spot there depending on who won the cup, which I think was Vikinger, to be honest. And yeah, it's looking as though Nardvik and IBV, who I think were the 2 that came up, they're certainly the 2 favourites to go down, though Stajnen and Folsner, another one that's been quite good recent seasons, a danger of going down there as well. But let's not worry about that right now. Let's go and see what we're doing here against Port to try and win this thing. We can see their confirmation. We just need a point to win the title. We're expecting a 4-4-2 from them. And given that we have this game, Breeder Blink, and then Europe, this is a chance for us to play the European team and hopefully we'll hopefully get a good result here. So Sinistera on a high match load. I might actually go with Gadini in this one. So that means it'll be Puol in goal. It'll be Calderone, Degan, Vinci, and Volpez as the back 4. Yes, I know there's some heavy match loads here, but we're just trying to get everybody playing together. Arneson, Turpinson, and Antonio. I can tell you they will not be our midfield trio when we face Atletico Madrid. Kosh, Higuain, and Gadini will be the front man. Alright, so we can see the team sheets here. Haf Porson, Djokovic are 2 of our former players, so it's good to see them sticking around the league. I don't recognise any other names there. What do we say to this? We've been on a good run lately. I think it's just go out there, relax, play a natural game. The result will come. In theory, this is one of those higher pressure games because, you know, there's a league title potentially on the line for us. But it should be relatively comfortable, shouldn't it? Now, first of all, a big apology. There was no episode yesterday. Basically, I woke up yesterday. I had a really bad headache, like a migraine headache, and I just couldn't. It's not just sitting in front of the screen. There's the big studio light that lights me and the green screen behind me, and I just couldn't have that in my face to record. And as some of you will know, I sort of record a lot of stuff on the weekends to sort of for the week ahead because I'm daddy daycare during the week. So yeah, just to do a bulk record like that, I just couldn't do it. So it was best to just miss yesterday, Monday's episodes, and then the rest of the week should, fingers crossed, be sort of able to be done as per normal schedule. As we've got Kosh into a good area, pulls it back for Gadini, There's a goal, and we now need 2 to conceded to be able to not win the league, because a draw is enough for us. Very, very nice start. And yeah, that is good stuff. Volpez getting forward. Kosh turns his defender, pulls it back, and Gadini's not going to miss that, is he? Very good finish. You could make an argument that Gadini is still our best and most consistent striker. Sinister has actually done quite well. I don't know that he's... I don't know that I'd quite have him as first choice, as Turpinson goes very close to a stunner. I think I still like Baltonsson as our main striker. He's just been a little inconsistent. He is right now away with the Icelandic, I think the senior team. We do have another Icelandic international at the club. Unnarsson has been capped by the national team now. So that, I think, makes him the third gag to get capped, because there was Hansi Mortensen, Baltonsson obviously, and now Unnarsson. Surprisingly, Rafferson hasn't been capped. Now, goalkeeper's a little bit difficult to be capped compared to other positions, mainly because you can't just come on for 20 minutes at the end typically. So yeah, I think that's the third one, unless I've missed somebody. It's Kosh on the volley, very, very nicely done indeed. And of course, I did say that Kosh is going to be our first choice right winger going forward now, because I think right now he's a little bit better than what Beyonce is. As he's still learning the position, but look at that on the volley. Have some of that. That is a goal of the season contender, isn't it? Absolute crisp as you like. So, yeah, this is looking as though league title is done, which is good, because then we can kind of put it away for the season, just focus on European football, as a bit of a mix-up there potentially, but all's well that ends well. And Purwall gets it forward, looking for Gadini. And in the end, Paul's going to try and come back the other way, but Vinci wins it. Arneson. Back to we go again with Antonio. Yeah, it is a little bit of just a bit of a mixed up midfield, because Jonsson's with Iceland. Gadini, oh, that's a good finish from Gadini across the goalkeeper. And well, you can stick a pin in this one because it is done. Yeah, so Jonsson is with the Icelandic team. Raul's got a bit of an injury, and who's the other one? Bakali's with the Socceroos. That's a good finish, isn't it? So yeah, that's sort of, I think, what we'd be looking at being our midfield and where they all are. There is a couple of other options. Whether we go with, I don't think Arneson is quite ready for Europe yet. I think he's still best off at 19, just sort of playing in the league and just continuing to develop. Jose Antonio, I don't know that he is good enough to start in that defensive midfield role in Europe, so I don't think he tackles quite good enough. Here we get oh, it's a penalty. It looked like a bit of a rugby tackle, if we're honest. Oh, it's a red card. It didn't quite look that bad. But Gadini with a chance for a hat-trick, sticks it away, and has he earned himself the starting spot against Atletico Madrid now? It's certainly difficult not to pick him, although obviously level of competition between Pau and away, albeit away from home, but them and Atletico Madrid, it is kind of a different standard, isn't it? Kosh now to take the corner. Can we get another one? It's headed away. Jose Antonio picks it up, drives it to the byline. Can he pull it back? He goes himself. Gadini was there, just couldn't get his head in front of the goalkeeper, could he? But yeah, this is looking... That's an interesting place for an inverted winger to be playing in central midfield. I wonder if that is sort of like an inverted Mazzella, if that's essentially what that is. I've never noticed that before in a midfield three, to have an inverted winger. But anyway, comfortable 4-0 against 10 men. Let's just say we're happy. I mean, I think we probably can get complacent at this point. Now, who do we have on the bench that we can give some game time to? There's not really any. I mean, Jofferson actually on wide left could come on for Higuain. That's fine. We'll protect Higuain a little bit. You can see some players too have come back from international football a little tired, so that's not ideal. Degen is looking a little tired, so we could get Hansi Mortensen on for him. And yeah, I don't think the others there were away with the Italian national team, so that should be fine. Yeah, there's not too much else to catch you up on. We obviously have, I meant to show you the finances with the Diana money. I think we've got 70 million in the bank and 50 million as a transfer budget. We have started to make one or two signings sort of for February 22nd. The team we have now is essentially, that's our Champions League team now. We can't register anybody else. As Turpinson gets played in, Gadini, I tell you what, he's had some tap-ins in the last few games. That is his fourth of the day. It is 5-0. And yeah, what's his third tap in what we saw in the highlights there. Where was it? It was at Volsner. Might have even been the last game he got a couple of tap-ins. Turpinson, was it Half Pawson, who used to be our left-back, of course, that played in Gadini. He may have even played with Gadini, you know, because we've had him for so long now at this point. I wonder if Half Pawson was around at the same time. I reckon they would have been. Of course, Half Pawson was one of those guys that was quite good potential as Gadini wins it back for us. And can he go and get his fifth? It looks like he's going to play a supporting role there, which is good to see. Antonio, will he play him in? He goes back post to Kosh, who can't hit the target. Half Pawson, when did we get rid of him? So he left 2027, and when did Gadini arrive? 2027. So they would have crossed paths, I say. So yeah, I wonder if he'd assisted a Gadini goal before. But yeah, Half-Pawson was one of those guys that had really high potential, but at the time we might have even still been semi-pro at the time, and we just weren't able to get players to develop. And I don't think he was ever nailed down as first choice. And in the end, it was one of those that we just sort of cut our losses, let him go out and strengthen the league, and well, here we are, you know, what, 7 or 8 seasons later. So there we go. We are league champions, though, which is always nice to see. Not quite sure who is leading us up there. Who would have been captain on the day? Is it number 6? That might be Jose Antonio, perhaps. I'm not sure. It's not Hado. He's getting a nice free promo there for someone on the losing side, isn't he? But for the, what was it, 9th time in 11 seasons that we've been going, we are champions of Iceland, and that is Champions League football booked in for next season now, which is very nice. So absolutely brilliant. We're champions. We can enjoy it now. The league season gets put to one side. Although, in truth, we'd put the league to one side many, many months ago, hadn't we? But Gadini 4, Kosh with a stunner, and yeah, that is us champions. So it's a 9th straight Pepsi League title. It's not good for Icelandic football, is it? But there we go. We completed a treble, apparently, although the Gags didn't get the league done for us. The Icelandic Cup done for us this time. That's us back in the Champions League. We have 47 million to spend next season, and look at that wage budget. That is Premier League levels. So that's nice to see. I am now the greatest Australian manager in the game. Take that, Ange. And consecutive Pepsi League wins. Yeah, we were 1-20. We were odds-on favourite at the start of the year, so you kind of expect us to win. We will praise Gadini for his 4 goals. And yeah, there we go. That is that. Wait right there, guys. We've got a nothing game now against Breidablik, and then we will be off to Atletico Madrid to face them. And if you're interested in seeing our Champions League fixtures, well, here they are here. I did post them earlier on the Discord and the Facebook group as well. But Atletico Madrid away. Shamrock Rovers at home. Very, very winnable. Must win, in fact. Sporting Lisbon away. Maybe a point. Man City at home is tough. Lille at home. Is that potentially one we can hope to win? Then we've got Werder Bremen away. Man United at home. And Paris Saint-Germain away. So it's not easy by any means. But getting both Manchester teams, Paris Saint-Germain, is tough, but the other ones, we should be looking to try and get out of the league phase here, I think, and well, we'll try and start that campaign up next away to Atletico Madrid. Okay, welcome back. We are getting ready to start our Champions League campaign versus Atletico Madrid, but before that, we need to catch up on the league game against Breidablik. We rotated, obviously. We were protecting players for this one, but let's see how the game played out. We took the lead when Sinistera took advantage of a defensive mix-up. Immonen made it 2-0 before Juleson picked out Obot at the back post for our third. So there we go, comfortable as you like again. Obot, that was his first goal for the club, so nice to see that. Beyonce didn't have a great game. Now he is going back to his former team, of course. We signed him from Atletico Madrid. He's on the bench. I hate to disappoint him on that, but that's where he's going to start. But yeah, generally speaking, second string 11, and they did quite well. So let's have a look and see what we're doing here against Atletico Madrid. And we can see we're expecting a 4-2-3-1 out of them. And this is the team we're sending out. Puel in goal. It is Calderon, Degen, Vinci, and Volpez as the back 4. Jonsson in behind Raul and Bakali. It is Kosh, Higuain, and Bautenson as the front 3. There's a few heavy match loads there, which isn't ideal. But let's hope that we can start like we did last season, 2-0 up. And let's hope we can hang on to it in the second half. All right, here we go. So Nelson Vivas is their manager. He's an Argentinian right back, I think, wasn't he? I think I remember him as a player. Upamenko is still going for them. Taylor Pickles, I remember him from last year. What a name. Diego Darlo for our Manchester United fans. Ruben Caballo, is he a real player? I think he sounds familiar as well. And Alexis McAllister is there as well. Now let's have a look what we say here. It's going to be one of these. Nobody expects us to get a result. Just go out there, play without any pressure on you. Yeah, if we can take a point here, it would be a massive start, wouldn't it, to the whole campaign for us. And here we go. Champions League football, another season, another crack at it. And yeah, I think it's a bit. Let me know what you think in the comments. It feels like it's a little bit more of a middling fixtures that we got this time. We've certainly had tougher. We've had much tougher, I think, but we've definitely had some easier games as well. The team, though, I think on paper looks quite good, doesn't it? I feel like we're maybe missing a midfielder in that starting lineup. I think I like Bakali because he has the vision and the work rate, and he's not a bad passer. Raul can't tackle, which is his problem, and he has a trait right now of plays simple passes despite the fact, I should say, he's a good passer and has good vision. So we're trying to train that out of him. But yeah, there's I think midfield is maybe we're just that little bit weak. But here we go, Volpez getting forward. He's got Kosh with him. Can he get across him? He does. It's headed away though. It's down there for Higuain. Higuain turns, shoots, and just over the top. Oh, that would have been a nice start, wouldn't it? All right. Yeah, that back four it's definitely the strongest back four, well, and five if you include the goalkeeper that we've had. So that's promising. If, and it's a big if, but if they can keep things tight for us and we're hard to beat, I still think we are a team that has goals in us. So yeah, we'll see. Now, of course, it was 2-0 up at half the time last season. Poole has just about kept the ball out of the back. And here we go on the counter-attack now. Raul's there. He's got Bautinson with him. Can he play a ball through? He can. Bautinson. He's got the whole Atletico Madrid defence there. He keeps possession well, squares it back, and it's just not quite falling for us. Are we going to get done the other way now? Someone could foul him. Somebody do a foul. Oh, don't. Poole is there. All right, we'll take it. We definitely needed a tactical foul further up the pitch there, though, didn't we? And another highlight late in the first half. Come on, boys. Come on. Get in front of it. Get in front of it. Oh, it's a good tackle, was it, from Vinci? Oh, he's offside, I think. I hope. I think he is. We've done well. And are we going to get the halftime scoreless? We are. We didn't have a shot on target. But we've done a fairly decent job there defensively. We will continue to say that there's no pressure on us here. And yeah, I mean, they're going to come out. We saw, didn't we, last season? We've got first-hand evidence of what they're going to do. They're going to come out at us like a house on fire here. And we just need to be ready for it. Bautinson not having a great game. I'm going to put Sinistero on, I think. I just have a bit of a feeling he is maybe the sort of striker that will do well for us in Europe. There's a ball forward. Bautinson, not quite. Oh, a bit of a loose touch there from the defender. And here come Atletico Madrid the other way. Kosh working hard. Can Volpez stop a cross coming in now? We've done okay there. We've held them back. Raul has lunged in. And, oh, there's no one at the edge of the area. Bakali gets out. And eventually, oh, cross comes in. Away. And away again. Away again. Oh, it's gone through a crowd of players. And it's 1-0. That is just an annoying way to concede, isn't it? We just couldn't get it clear. Raul there had to win that header, didn't he? He kind of turned his back on it. And Puel, could he have done a little bit better there? He didn't react at all, did he? Maybe his line of sight was blocked a little bit, but it didn't really look like it from that angle behind the goal. All right, can we attack differently here? Let's try getting rid of that and maybe raising up our tempo and seeing if we can get it forward a little bit quicker. Raul not having a great game in midfield, so we'll make a change there. All right, let's get Antonio on. Let's sit him deeper. He's that deep-lying playmaker for us. And Jonsson can go forward in midfield, and we'll see what he can do. Raúl still on the pitch, though, for now. Jonsson wins it back. Kosh gets it forward, looking for Sinistera. Can he do something for Sinistera's in! Sinistera's in! Oh! It's a corner. He just hesitated too long, didn't he? Can we get at something from the corner? Kosh. And it's not a penalty. I was hoping maybe for a second there it was going to be a penalty. I think if we're showing anything here, it's that we can compete. We're just not quite being good enough, though, have we? Let's try exploiting the flanks, getting rid of that. Let's maybe pass into space as well. And see if that works for us. You know what I should have done in hindsight is brought Beyonce on against his former team, but it's a 1-0 defeat. I mean, we had XG. I mean, that's that Sinistera chance, isn't it? We had chances. The match ratings don't look great, but they can be misleading at times. It was a good effort, to be fair. So close, but so far, isn't it? Cadiz 4-0 over Liverpool. What's going on there? So we are 28th, as you would expect, with no points. But there's some positives there, isn't there? We were fairly solid defensively. Now, of course, what we don't know is how good Atletico Madrid going to be going forward. And I love the sort of patronising you did well, but you lost. Because I do it to other managers as well. It just infuriates you, doesn't it? Yeah, how good are they going to be? You know, 1-0 maybe isn't the worst, but it's still frustrating to lose, isn't it? But guys, that will do it for today. If you've enjoyed that, thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe if you're new. We'll make this first call for Viewers Player of the Year nominees because the league season's just about done and Europe obviously ticks by quite quick. So we'll be back for Shamrock Rovers at home, which if there is a must-win game we've ever had, it's that one. Then we'll go to Sporting Lisbon. I'm quietly confident we could get something there. If we can get 4 points out of the next episode, that would be a very nice thing indeed. But until then, guys, I've been Aussie Villain. Thank you so much for watching. Take care.